Maya was apologizing again. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up. Daniel didn't answer. He just looked at her for a moment before saying, I just don't understand why everything has to become a problem with you. Maya looked down at her phone. The original message was still there. She had only asked him why he'd ignored her all evening. Somehow, 20 minutes later, she was the one apologizing. 3 months earlier, Daniel had seemed almost perfect. He remembered everything. Maya had mentioned once that she loved a particular pastry from a cafe near her office. The following week, he showed up with it. When she had a stressful day, he called. When she said she wasn't used to someone paying so much attention to her, he smiled. You deserve to be treated well. And Maya believed him. She liked how intentional he was. She liked how quickly he seemed to understand her. Most of all, she liked how safe she felt around him. Then came the first disagreement. Maya had dinner planned with an old friend. Daniel had expected them to spend the evening together. When she told him, his expression changed. Oh, what's wrong? Nothing. You look upset. I'm not upset. Maya. He picked up his phone. Go. Have fun. She went. But Daniel didn't text her that night. Or the next morning. By lunchtime, Maya couldn't concentrate. Finally, she messaged him. Are you angry with me? His reply came almost immediately. No, I'm just disappointed that you think I'd try to control who you see. Maya stared at the screen. She hadn't said he was controlling, but somehow she now felt guilty for thinking it. She called him. And by the end of the conversation, she was apologizing. It happened again and again. Daniel would make a comment. Maya would become uncomfortable. She'd bring it up. And somehow the conversation would turn into a discussion about her reaction. One evening, he made a joke about her weight. Maya laughed at first. Then she went quiet. Daniel noticed. Oh, come on. It was a joke. I didn't like it. He sighed. You're becoming so sensitive lately. I just don't think you should talk to me like that. Daniel stared at her. So after everything I do for you, this is what you focus on? Maya went silent. There it was again. She had started the conversation, wanting an apology. 5 minutes later, she was explaining why she wasn't an ungrateful girlfriend. And then Daniel hugged her. I don't want to fight with you. He kissed her forehead. You know I love you. And just like that, everything felt okay again. For a while. Notice what happened. Maya brought up his behavior. Daniel redirected the conversation toward her character. That's a form of blame shifting. And it works because Maya starts defending herself instead of asking the original question. Was the joke hurtful? Why did he ignore her? Why did he punish her with silence? Those questions disappear. Now she's trying to prove she's not. Too sensitive, too demanding, ungrateful. And once someone gets you defending your character, they don't have to defend their behavior. If you want more stories that uncover the psychology behind everyday relationships and human behavior, subscribe. Because sometimes understanding what's happening is the first step toward changing it. Maya slowly changed. She stopped telling Daniel when something bothered her. She started watching his mood before making plans. She'd think, maybe I shouldn't mention this. Maybe he'll take it the wrong way. Maybe I'll just stay home. Her friends noticed. One Saturday, her friend Sophie asked, why don't you come out anymore? Maya smiled. Daniel and I just like spending time together. Sophie looked at her. Do you actually want to stay home? Maya didn't answer, because she suddenly realized she couldn't remember the last time she'd canceled something because she wanted to. Most of the time, she canceled because she didn't want to deal with what would happen afterward. Then came the night that finally broke something. Maya told Daniel she needed space. He became unusually calm. Okay. She expected anger. Instead, he said, I understand. Then he added, I just hope you don't regret throwing away someone who loved you this much. Maya went home. She cried. The next morning, Daniel sent flowers. Then a long message. He apologized. He told her he'd been under pressure. He promised to do better. And for the next 2 weeks, he did. He was affectionate, patient, attentive. Maya thought maybe everything had changed. Until it happened again. This is where another psychological mechanism matters. Intermittent reinforcement. The relationship wasn't terrible all the time. Sometimes Daniel was wonderful, and that's exactly what made Maya hold on. If someone is consistently cruel, leaving becomes easier to understand. But when affection comes unpredictably, after conflict, after hurt, after distance, your brain can become intensely focused on getting the good version of that person back. Maya wasn't only attached to Daniel. She was attached to the possibility of Daniel returning to the person he sometimes was. A week later, Maya found herself sitting across from Sophie. She was telling her everything: the arguments, the apologies, the flowers, the promises, the way she'd started checking Daniel's mood before deciding what she could say. Sophie listened quietly, then asked, Maya, when was the last time you felt like yourself? Maya opened her mouth. Nothing came out. And that question stayed with her. Because she'd been asking, does Daniel love me? Is Daniel a narcissist? Can this relationship work? But she'd never asked, who am I becoming in this relationship? If you recognize this pattern, don't start by trying to diagnose the other person. Start by documenting what actually happens. After a serious disagreement, write 3 things. What happened? What did I bring up? How did the conversation end? Then, look at the pattern. Do you repeatedly raise an issue and end up apologizing for bringing it up? Do you find yourself becoming smaller just to keep the relationship peaceful? Are you constantly waiting for the loving version of someone to come back? Those patterns tell you more than a label ever could. Maya didn't leave because she finally proved Daniel was a narcissist. She left when she realized something much simpler. She shouldn't have to lose herself to keep someone she loved.